gentlemen, the resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ has birthed something very exciting. It is a bout between two gentlemen, both very exciting fighters. Formerly, one a karate fighter with a brown belt and the other a kickboxer. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 1Zone MMA, fight number 1. I am Web Daniel Sebachije, and with me is a lady who is a fighter, Olivia Nantumbwe, joining us, and of course, Ian Mutenda. Olivia, what a day for us.
Well, it's definitely great to be here. Straight off the bat, in the first fight, you can see that James is at a disadvantage considering his height, but he's doing pretty well. He has Jackson already in a clinch, taking him to the cage, and he's keeping him there.
He does well to keep him there. Remember, James Buuza is a brown belt in karate, but he seems to have his intentions clear. He wants to take this fight down. He looks like he's trying to plan a takedown, Ian. Yeah,
no, he has a clinch. He has one arm under Jackson's left arm. He's trying to maintain control, pin his opponent against the cage, and so far so good. Like you said, he is a brown belt in karate.
A brown belt in karate, but how much will the brown belt come in handy against a man who is so strong, first of all? That is Mawanda Jackson, a K1 kickboxer. That's where he's been.
James is actually doing pretty well right now because he's avoiding that distance advantage that Jackson has, which is in his favor right now.
Yes, no question about it. He has eliminated the reach advantage of Jackson early on.
As the coach's bellow instructions telling him stay strong, he cannot throw you down.
James Buuza is the more experienced fighter, as we pointed out earlier.
Yeah, started fighting in 2003. That's 9 years before Jackson Mawanda, his opponent, ever thought of fighting. But very powerful gentleman there in the cage.
Very interesting fight. I think Jackson is obviously trying to hit his opponent, but James Buuza has done quite well to completely eliminate that. He's getting a few shots to the side and the back of his head, but I don't think they've been as impactful as Jackson would like.
He does well to keep him close to him because he knows his reach could be dangerous if he gives him a single inch.
Yeah,
he will make use of it to land those nasty punches. So he chooses to keep him close, and I think Olivia,
he's doing pretty well, but
I think a few of those landed.
Not much action has been happening. This is actually pretty good. It's finally some movement. Jackson is trying to get out of that terrible position where he couldn't use his height to his advantage.
Well, he says he knows his game should be countered because of the height disadvantage he's got.
No, but it's interesting because
I feel like he's almost being the aggressor now.
No, he is being the aggressor. I think his experience is showing, like you pointed out earlier, and the fact that he's keeping him alongside the cage. I think the ref has had enough of that clinch, though.
Give us some action, he says.
He wants a bit more action.
Not much was happening in that section.
Yeah, but the thing is, for James Buuza, you can't blame him for having that type of fight.
Yeah.
He wants to be in control. He wants to pin his opponent. He does have a background in karate, in kickboxing as well, and taekwondo. But I think when he gets into that clinch, we expect to see a bit more action, especially with, that was
okay, James is doing actually pretty well considering.
No, he is. He is doing quite well so far. And you know that this is what Jackson wants. He wants them in this type of position, and he wants to be throwing a few more of those type of kicks.
Oh, he's going to the back. Is he going to take his back?
Jackson should do well to avoid that. He does well. Uses his height well to get over.
Oh, this is not good for James.
But again,
this time James is the one who was pinned to the cage. James managed to turn that one around, but again, Jackson this time is not having too much of that. Jackson is definitely trying to connect, but I think James Buuza has done quite well.
Yeah,
he has done quite well to avoid much of that damage.
He's controlling the distance that Jackson has between the two of them, and that's pretty good.
Yeah, he made it clear. I was speaking to him, and I like the fact that he appreciated and acknowledged the fact that he's not.
Okay.
There we go.
Jumps onto
Gets
the back.
his back very early. He's going for a rear naked choke. Very well done by Jackson.
Brilliant slam there from Jackson.
This is not a good position for James. He's at the bottom, and once Jackson gets up, he can go straight for that ground and pound.
The guard is doing well to save him.
He's doing very well to keep his opponent close to him. Yet again, he's avoiding any direct hits.
I feel like should be a close guard for him.
It's ideally yes, but in this position he needs to get out of it.
So he's trying to roll over.
He needs to get out of that position.
Force a reversal, but 10 seconds to go.
It's time.
It's actually time, the end of the first round.
What a round. I was actually quite impressed.
Yeah?
That was actually pretty good. Going in, I expected James to be at a disadvantage considering his height, but he was able to control that match the whole time.
And I think that's a good thing about him. When you talk to him, he tells you clearly, I know I'm not tall, so I've got to do everything to ensure I don't take in a lot of punches. So what he did today, I think his plan was keep him as close as you can, try to take him down when you can, and let the game flow on the ground, because that in grappling is where he has a chance against such a tall guy.
No question about it. But you see, his background, James Buuza, is karate, it's taekwondo, and once he gets into those positions where he's close to his opponents, especially in the clinch,
at this point
I think he could do a bit more. He was, and he almost got a rear naked choke. There was one moment. There was one moment where he got his back. It looked like he was going for the rear naked choke, but
I liked his
Jackson did well to avoid that.
But I like Buuza's concentration and awareness, because he was quick to jump onto the back, and when you get on the back, the first instinct is go for that neck, go for a rear naked choke.
He needed to get his hooks in for that to work out.
But again, the height disadvantage denied him a chance to go for a proper rear naked choke.
If he had gotten his hooks in and stayed in the back position, this would have been his chance. Yeah,
but I think Mawanda's neck was way up too high for him. That's why he had to jump onto the back and cling onto him. But how would you score that first round, Olivia?
Definitely James. James had a control of most of the fight.
You agree, Ian?
Yeah, I think just about. I wouldn't say definite, but no question that he looked like the one who fought the type of fight he wanted in that first round.
The type of fight, well, looks like a game of chess now. The two fighters are highly concentrating. They are still trying to study each other. The first round gave us a bit of a balance between the two. What will the second one bring?
Again, both fighters center of the cage.
We can see Jackson is being more careful this time.
Yeah, he loves to play on the counter. I think he's waiting for, rather James loves to play on the counter. He's waiting for Jackson to come at him.
Make a mistake, perhaps, and pounce.
Land a powerful back.
Very well taken down.
Ooh, nice hit.
Nice.
Proper hit that landed.
That would have been the time to just slam onto him and get him down. He lost the chance.
He seemed a bit hesitant. For a moment, I thought he was coming at him when he was down, but his reaction lacked a bit.
Yeah, he was a bit slow in that situation.
But again, James Buuza looks like someone who has definitely been fighting for years. Very, very well aware of what's going on around him.
Concentrating.
Proper concentration.
Proper concentration is important. Keeping his eyes on his opponent.
After that, it looks like Jackson is being careful with his kicks, because James got him the last time.
I think James's karate background is actually showing. It's not very easy to take these karate guys down.
Yeah, that's what you
and
get when you're facing a brown belt.
Control. He is a brown belt, yes.
Good job there. Landed trying to take him down, but Mawanda is so powerful on his, but he keeps exposing his back, and that's dangerous.
Yeah, I think he's done well to avoid it this time. Again, pin against the cage. This time, I would like to see a bit more action in this clinch, because James Buuza could actually do a bit more with his legs. His feet, he could stamp on his opponent, try to create more opportunities for himself. Could try perhaps a few knees as well.
And the fact that Mawanda is sweating,
there you go. That's what I'm saying.
You think it would be easy for him to sweep him down?
This time he's landing quite a few more.
Again, he turns him over, lands a few punches. It's coming tight.
James needs to do something in this situation. Otherwise, the referee is going to separate them again
and take us back to a restart.
No, but I think we saw just a bit more action that first time round. Again, he's trying. I think he's trying to get into. Oh, that landed.
That's dangerous. A
couple of strikes there from Jackson. He's going for the guillotine.
Attempt for a guillotine. Mawanda seems to be.
This is a dangerous position for James. He needs
very,
to get
very
out
dangerous.
Of
Jackson has that. He does have that guillotine.
His chin should be down. Should be close to him.
He can't get out of it.
This is. And Mawanda is so powerful. I don't. He does escape.
He gets out and he's in the full mount.
Very
keeps pounding.
He needs to get up
and get a proper position to pound.
Get some distance away from him, get his chest as far from him as possible, and then go straight for the ground and pound. But Jackson is keeping him real close.
Jackson is doing well to roll himself over. That's against the rules. No cage support. Keeps him close.
I think James Buuza did very well to get out of that situation. Looked like he was in trouble with that guillotine attempt. But now
James is going for the ground and pound at this situation.
Going for ground and pound.
This is very dangerous.
It's dangerous for Mawanda.
Jackson Mawanda, the more experienced fighter, is on top.
Jackson is keeping him close, so that's good for him.
He has done well to get hold of his opponent. Yes, Olivia, he really did that.
But he's landing a few punches to his face.
Yeah, James is getting a few punches in, but those punches are not that strong. Yeah, they're not.
Not as powerful as they otherwise would be.
But James still has a good position.
Yeah, he definitely does. He just needs to create the distance so that his punches can pack a bigger punch.
Oof.
Yes, just like that.
He pounds, keeps pounding.
Landing a few more shots right now.
Jackson is keeping control of this. He's doing his best to stay safe in this situation.
He's playing proper defense.
Definitely.
Throws a few punches
But he's in trouble.
as well. But whenever
There's
he
no question he's in trouble.
Troublesome for Jackson. Ground and pound.
Not getting full contact.
This is not good.
Whoa.
He exposes his back.
Again.
Rear naked choke. This is dangerous. It looks dangerous for Jackson.
He needs to get his...
I think Jackson's trying to keep...
Jackson is
well. James is locking his feet well. Jackson is trying to escape, but...
Definitely, but James
is not giving him any spaces.
Not at all.
Look at his face. This looks dangerous.
He is in trouble, but he's doing well to keep James's arms open.
Puts him back down. Another slam there.
All the experience of the older fighter here showing.
Jackson is really holding his own.
He is holding his own, and that is another
Jackson
round
has been saved by the bell.
Definitely.
Wow.
What a round.
What a round.
What a round. What a round. What a round.
James Buuza taking advantage of every opportunity to try and get a winning position.
No, I love it. We talked about the younger fighter, perhaps the more youthful, more energetic guy in Mawanda versus the more experienced, older, cool head who has been there, done it all. And I think James Buuza actually came through in the first two rounds. Certainly in the second round, when he was in trouble, he managed to turn that round into his favor.
Now that was the mistake there.
That was a sign of things to come.
He should have kept going for Jackson.
But I don't know why James hesitated.
I think he hesitated because he was respectful of the counter from his opponent in that position, because his legs were actually free and he could have got a few. When
Jackson got that guillotine, it was only a matter of time, but it wasn't in.
Yeah, the guillotine attempt wasn't in.
But Jackson kept exposing his back. When that position.
Yes, he did.
In this mount position, I think actually Jackson Mawanda did quite well, basically, to hang in there until the end of that round.
But James should have finished that off.
No, he had the opportunities to do so.
Such a ground and pound position.
But we've talked about
we've
talked about the younger fighter. Well, let's see if anything to do with cardio plays out in this final round. Though the way James Buuza has been in control, I don't think cardio will be that big of a factor in this round.
Well, let's see how it goes. The third round is always one where you've got to regulate your cardio.
Definitely.
Fighter, are you ready? Fighter, are you ready? Fight!
Here we go. Final round.
The final round is now all for the money.
Seems like they're being super careful at this point.
Yeah, you've got to be. I mean, you might land into a lucky punch from your opponent and you just lose it all.
Very interesting lightweight battle we have going on here. But I like how James Buuza has handled this fight.
I feel like Jackson is now being more careful. He's not attacking like he was in the first two rounds.
You can see his movement. You can see the lateral movement, trying to get away from his opponent. Nicely.
Good sprawling there.
Very good sprawl.
Sprawling to avoid a takedown from Jackson Mawanda.
Yeah, Mawanda was trying to change level, trying to take him down, but again, the experience of Buuza, his background that we spoke about earlier, did very well to avoid that.
I think the sweat is playing its part as well.
At this moment in time,
he's trying to get a better position in this situation.
It's difficult. He can't get a good grip onto his opponent because
James is now getting
Jackson
closer.
should be careful not to expose his neck.
He really, really should.
He could set himself up for a guillotine.
Could set himself up for any sort of submission.
This may not have been the best position for either one of them, but James is definitely coming out on top.
Yeah.
I think we've seen this throughout the fight. He has managed to turn most of his into his advantage.
He exploits any little opportunity.
Any opening, he has managed to do it. Mount position yet
Yes,
again.
Straight for the ground and pound.
Ground and
Again,
pound. Nothing really
this is
landing.
dangerous now. It looks dangerous for Jackson.
Jackson is holding James close, so that's pretty good.
Jackson is playing good defense, but again, I feel like James Buuza should be more effective in these positions. You don't get multiple positions like that and you don't really utilize them. With his experience, he should do better to finish it off.
The thing is that Jackson is like you said, his defense is really good. So whatever James comes at him with, he's able to find the best way for him to survive that position and get out of it.
The gladiator keeps getting the right anecdote for everything they throw at him, but this looks dangerous for him.
Very,
Jackson
very dangerous.
Trying to set himself up for
Some
a proper ground and pound.
ground and
Jackson
pound.
is
They
trapped in a
connect.
corner in this situation.
He's connecting a lot more at this stage.
Punching. This looks dangerous. He keeps pounding in the face.
He has done quite well to avoid
Again,
contacts.
pushes himself back.
Okay, that's good. Now he'll have more space in case he wants to do the reversal.
The referee warns him not to use the cage. It's against the rules.
Now James Buuza again, he's trying to...
James is trying to create that distance.
He's
and
trying
just going.
desperately to create that distance, trying to finish his
But
opponent
he
off.
has landed so many punches in the face of Jackson. Look at Jackson's face. He has swallowed way too many punches, but give it up to him for his resilience.
Jackson is not giving up in this situation.
He is not giving up. Just under 2 minutes to go. The final round, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, they fight for 3 rounds of 5 minutes each.
I don't know if he's thinking about going for an arm lock there. There was a slight moment, I thought for 1 second that James Buuza might think of an Americana right there, but no.
There is no chance.
There's no chance.
He knows what he's doing. Olivia, oh man, what can Jackson do to get out of this position and try to get into an advantageous position for him?
He needs to make a good reversal, but the problem is James is really using his weight well. Whatever Jackson tries to do, he just pins him down and keeps his weight evenly distributed, and he's not letting go of that position no matter what.
And the clock is not giving him any chances as well. Tries to go for
He
a good
lost
reversal. That's a powerful
That's exactly
reversal.
what Olivia was
Oh, James
talking
is-
about.
James is done now. This is not good for him.
Jackson is looking for just one opportunity to mount James and show him what exactly he should have been doing, finish him off. But the clock
James
Might
is
not
creating
work in
that
his
space. He's
favor.
going
They're
back.
on their feet. James Buuza. my
Back
goodness.
is
down.
back down. So many takedowns from James Buuza in this fight.
He knows where he wants this fight to be. He wants it to be down, because once he gets up, Jackson will have the bigger advantage.
While James Buuza, the Taekwondo brown belt, is clearly a grappler. A karate brown belt, rather. Not Taekwondo.
James needs to keep that position right now. It's only a few more seconds.
But you see, for Jackson, unfortunately, I think
The
he's not getting...
referee wants
He breaks
some
it up, but
action.
I was going to say, unfortunately for Jackson, he did well to defend, but he will not be winning this
But
fight.
look how tired James looks.
No, but
He might be in
Jackson-
control of the bout, but look at how
around
both
5
fight-
seconds, both fighters look done. 3 very, very long rounds.
10
And
seconds
it
to go,
is
his timeout.
time.
Right done.
I think without question, the man raising his arms is the victor.
James knows he has done enough.
And Jackson also knows he didn't, unfortunately, do enough. That was a good fight. Good opening fight right there.
Proper fight. I like the fact that James kept taking the fight down on the ground.
That's because he knew that would be his better position in this situation.
That's what you do if you know you don't have a good reach against your opponent.
Yeah, that was very impressive from James. We talked about his experience, and I think it really, really came through. He's good on his feet. He's good at stand-up, but he just knew with the reach disadvantage that he had, try to keep that distance as minimal as possible and fight the type of fight that he wanted. I think all the experience showed right from the beginning of this fight.
This is definitely because of the experience he has in other fights. So he just made a game plan that would work for him in this situation.
Well, but give it up to Jackson Mawanda, fighting against a guy who has got 9 more years of experience than you. You surely gave him a proper run for his money. His defense game was so good.
No, he was very good. I think Jackson. But the thing is, Jackson Mawanda, I thought tried. He really tried. He got the neck a couple of times, but you could tell that James Buuza, with his experience, I thought he was more experienced in terms of karate and taekwondo and kickboxing. But he showed even when they went down that he knew what he was doing. He wasn't out of place, and he managed to get the opponent off his neck. He managed to get Jackson Mawanda off his neck every single time. It looked like there might be a choke somewhere or anything. He actually managed to get out of that situation.
Yeah, but never mind him clearly being the winner of this fight. I feel like James Buuza has got to be more effective. When he gets those advantageous positions, he's got to be able to do enough to finish off the fight. Against another opponent, I think he might be punished for not being effective.
It's not exactly that. It's because Jackson, every time James got on top of him, Jackson managed to keep him close at all times.
So it's more about Jackson's good defense than James Buuza's lack of,
No, I think so. I think
effectiveness.
So. I think so. We saw this repeatedly. Every single time he was keeping his opponent close, failed to get those hits. Good opening fight, actually. Very good
opening fight, and you can see clearly Jackson Mawanda's cutman is the busier one of the two.
No question. But you see, what I liked about this fight is that we saw different aspects of mixed martial arts. We saw them on their feet. We saw them throwing punches. They exchanged a few kicks, not so many. We saw them in the clinch, where early on they didn't do so much, but later on we saw a bit more. And eventually they went to the ground. And both fighters again looked quite okay in that situation.
They look quite okay, and indeed James Buuza will be looking and feeling more okay. As you can see him right there, clearly has bossed this one, but it's time for us to head straight to the ring announcer to make this one official. The first fight of week number 3 of the 1Zone MMA mixed martial arts in Uganda. For those of you watching us from wherever you are, it's 1 fight down, 4 more to go, including a main fight involving 2 ladies from 2 forces. Ladies that don't see face to face will be facing off in our main fight of the night. The first all-lady main bout we've got so far. Trust you me, it's going to be an exciting one. But as we do wait to hear from the ring announcer, and of course, let's say straight there now for this to be made official.
Ladies and gentlemen, in our lightweight division tonight, Judge Amos Scorsese 27-29, Judge Derek Scorsese 27-29, Judge Judy Scorsese 26-28. And now, in the lightweight division, winner by unanimous decision, ladies and gentlemen, Judge